Let's create a Telegram chatbot. And the first thing you have to do is actually open up Telegram and go to your search bar and search for Botfodder. It should be this one here that says @Botfodder with the verified arrow. The other ones are fake, so make sure you tap on the correct one and tap on Start, because Botfodder will help us set up a bot that we can use on Telegram. And as soon as you start Botfodder, it's going to give you a lot of useful documentation. And what we care about at the moment is creating a new bot. So how would you like to call your new bot? Give your new bot a name. And I'm going to call it Luigi. And then you need to create a username, and that username must end in bot. So here we'll call it cool_abc_bot. And if you can successfully use that name, because some names are taken, it will give you this congratulations message along with your token. And you're going to want to save this token. So copy that, create a new Python project and create a constant called token, which of course will be of type final, of type string. And that's going to equal the token that you have for your Telegram bot. My token is not going to work for you, and I am going to delete it as soon as I'm done recording. So make sure you have your own token and that you keep it safe, because anyone that knows this token can play around with your chatbot. And while we are already here, we're going to also create another constant called bot username of type final, of type string. And that's going to equal @your bot username. So for me, it's going to be cool_abc_bot. And this is good to have because we will use it later. But let's go back to our bot and customize it a bit more, because there is a lot we can do with our bot that we've not done yet. So let's try to search for our bot. We'll type in coolabcbot. And we should have my coolabc bot right here. It's called Luigi. And we'll just tap on Start so we can keep track of this bot. Right now, the start command does nothing. I'll show you how to set that up in a moment, but all that matters is that we now have Luigi bot here, so we can see the changes. And the first change I would like to make is giving our bot a profile picture. So if we go back to the documentation, you'll see that we can set a name, we can set description, we can set about pic, and we can set a user pic. So we're going to take care of these 5. So first we'll set a user pic, and we'll tap on coolabcbot, and we need to send Botfodder a cool pic. So I'm going to use this one here, and I'm going to send it. Now Luigi is going to have a new image and is going to look epic. But let's also set an about text, and we want to do it for abcbot, and we'll give it a short description such as, I am Luigi bot, I will respond to you, and I'll tap on send. So that was updated. Then we should also give it a description. So set description. So when people are looking at this chatbot and checking out what it can do, they're going to read this and we'll say, I can answer your messages and make your life easier. Luigi. So we can actually hover back to Luigi and you'll see the description right here. What can this bot do? I can answer your messages and make your life easier. Each time someone tries to share Luigi bot, it will have the about text that says, I am Luigi bot, I will respond to you. So we're slowly filling out the fields for this bot. There's only 2 more fields we need to work with. One is set commands and one is set join groups. So we'll start with set join groups because that is quite simple. We want our bot to be able to be added to groups. So we'll say that we want to enable it. Or by default, it is enabled. So I guess at this point, this is a good place to show you how you can disable it. We're just going to tap on enable because we're already here. But this bot can be added to groups. If you don't want that to be enabled, disable it. Then we're going to set commands. So there are a few commands we need to set, and one's going to be start, one's going to be help, and one's going to be custom. And we want to set it for coolabcbot. And it's going to give you a way of setting it. So the first command is going to be start, and it's going to have a description of starts the bot. Then we'll have one called help, and help will say type something to chat with the bot. And finally, we can also add a custom one, and this will be, this is a custom command. And we will tap on enter. And we can change that at any point during our program. So we don't have to worry about this being set in stone. You can change it later. But for now, we went over all the basic setup on how we want our bot to react when we are using it on Telegram. Now, if you tap on the menu, you'll see we'll have some custom commands. They don't do anything because we didn't program anything yet. But as soon as we move back to Python, we'll be able to fix that so that our bot can respond to messages that any user sends it. So let's go back to our Python project. And we don't need the sidebar. We're going to do everything inside this window. But what we do need to do is open up the terminal because we need to install a package called python-telegram-bot. And with that, we can close the terminal. Then let's import them. So we're going to type in from Telegram import update, and from telegram.extensions, we're going to import application, command handler, message handler, filters, and context types. And here I'll just make a cheeky message called constants, and that will take care of the beginning of our program. Now we have all the information we need to create the functionality. So first, since everything's going to be asynchronous, we're going to have to use async def start command. And this will take care of giving the user that start command. So when they do /start, or when some new user taps on your bot, this is going to be triggered. So first it's going to take an update of type update, and it's going to take a context of type context types, which will be the default type. With that, we can type in await update.message.reply text. And here you can enter whatever you want to reply to the user when they use this command. So here we can say, hello there, nice to meet you. Let's chat. So now this will be triggered when we use the /start command. And the same thing's going to go for the help command and the custom command. So we're just going to copy and paste that twice and change it up a bit. So here we can type in help command and custom command. So you can do this over and over for each kind of command that you want to create. And you can also add your own functionality here. It doesn't just have to be await update message. You can add something such as random number equals random number. And then you can insert the random number here. So don't let this stop you from inserting your own kind of functionality. You can still do that. But here we'll type in something such as just type something and I will respond. So that will be the help command, and the custom command will say this is a custom command. So those are the commands that we're going to use with our bot. Below that, we're going to create a function called handle response. And I already showed you in a previous project how to create an accurate chatbot. So you're more than welcome to put that inside this project. But for this example, we're going to create a simple chatbot, a very simple chat, and it's going to return to us a string. So the first thing we need to do in here is process the message. We're going to get whatever the user input and make it lower. So we only want to have lowercase characters to make it easier to process. Now, if hello is in the processed text, our bot is going to respond, hey there. If how are you is in the processed text, we will return, I am good, thanks. And finally, we can say, if I love Python in processed, we will return Python is cool. Otherwise, if none of these trigger, we're just going to return I do not understand. So it's a very simple chatbot. As I mentioned, we have 3 responses that will work here. Otherwise, it's going to say that it doesn't understand. Swap this out for your own functionality on how you want your bot to respond. Then we need to create a function that handles the message. So def handle message, and it's going to take an update of type update and the context of context types dot default type. The first thing we want to get inside here is the message type, whether it's of type group or of type private. So message type, and that's going to be equal to update message dot chat dot type. Then we want to get the text. So text of type string will equal the update dot message dot text. So we can see what the user actually said. And to log this information, we'll just type in log. We're going to print that the user, and the user is going to have an ID. So here we'll type in update.message.chat message.id in message type, and we will just insert the text here, so we can see exactly what the user said. Then we want to make sure that a chatbot in a group only responds when it gets mentioned, because if it responds to everyone, it gets quite annoying that it keeps on cutting people off. So in a group, it's a good idea to make it only respond if it is mentioned. Otherwise, in a private chat, it should respond directly. So if the message type is equal to the group, and if the bot username is in the text, so that's going to act as the mention, then we're going to type in new text. It's going to equal a string of text, replace, and we want to get rid of the bot username from the text that the user has inserted so that we can actually process it correct. So we're going to replace the bot username with nothing, and we're going to call .strip. And .strip is going to remove any trailing or leading white spaces. Then the response of type string is going to equal handle response with the new text. Else, we're just going to return, because if you are in a group chat and you don't mention the bot, you don't want it to respond, so you just return out of this. On the outer if statement, we're just going to type in response of type string is going to equal handle response of whatever text the user has inserted. So in both cases, we're going to handle the response. The only difference is that in a group, we're going to have this new text that we had to clean up because we also want to make sure that we mention it directly. So here we can type in handle message type, and at the bottom, we're going to reply. So reply, and that's going to be a print statement that says bot with the response. So that again is used for logging, and we will type in await update.message.reply text, and that's going to be the response. Below that, we need to create an error handler. So async def error, that's going to take an update of type update, and a context that will actually be used in this scenario, which will take the context types .default type, and we will print that the update caused error, and we will add the context.error. And that's all this is going to do. It's just going to log whatever error happens. Now we can finally glue all of this together. So I'm going to create a function called main, and in here we're going to first print that we are starting up the bot. And I always like to have these intro messages in the script just to make sure that it's actually starting. Then we're going to create an app, which is going to be an application.builder that takes the token of type token and that builds it. So .build. And we're going to first start with the commands. So I created a comment called commands, and inside we're going to call app.addHandler, and it's going to be a command handler, which is going to take the command name such as start, and that's going to trigger the start command without the parentheses. We're going to duplicate that 2 times, change this to help, and change this to custom. But of course, remember to change both of the commands to their respective command names, such as help command and custom command. To handle the messages, we need to create a different kind of handler. So app.addHandler, and this one will take a message handler. The message handler will take filters.text, and it's going to handle the message. Then for errors, we're going to add an error handler. So add error handler, and we're just going to add the error. Then we need to print polling, and polling just means that we're checking for messages every X amount of seconds. App.run polling, and I'm going to set that to 5 settings. So poll interval will be set to 5. You can put that as a lower number or as a high number. It just means that the bot is going to wait, or it's going to check every 5 seconds for new messages, so it might just not respond immediately. And finally, all that's left to do is to type in if name is equal to main and run main. If we actually decide to run this time, it's going to start up the bot, and then it's going to say polling if everything goes well. If we go back to our bot, and this time we're actually going to delete the chat, or how do we, we're just going to delete this chat. And we're going to search for our bot again, which was called cool_abc_bot. Once we find Luigi and we tap on start, it's going to be able to actually respond to us, which means now our bot is finally live. then we can type something such as hello, and the bot can respond to the messages we wrote. If we write something completely random, it's not going to be able to understand that, but I can say I love Python, and it's going to respond exactly what we wrote in our handle response function. We can go to the menu and use the commands, as I mentioned earlier. If you do /help, it will have some sort of help message for you. If you do /custom, it will give you the custom command. So that's super cool. We made it work in a private chat. Anyone can access this bot now, and they can play around with it. But let's see how we can use it in a group. So for this example, I actually created a group called My Group, and we're going to want to add Luigi to this group. So we're going to have to click on the triple dots, click on View Group Info, and we're going to want to add a new user, or the member is going to be my Luigi bot. So cool_abc_bot. So we'll add Luigi, add. And we are sure, so we will add Luigi bot. Now Luigi bot is part of this, but you'll notice something very interesting. And that is that if we talk to Luigi bot and say, hello, he's not going to respond. You need to set permissions for your bot if you want it to actually be able to respond. So go to Manage Group, go to Administrators, and you want to add an administrator. And then Luigi bot will get these permissions. So we will just tap on Save. And as soon as we have Luigi bot as an administrator and save, Luigi bot is going to be able to respond to our messages. So hello. And as you saw, it was able to respond to the messages, but it doesn't respond to messages if we don't mention it. How are you? At Luigi bot. And Luigi bot will respond to our messages. So now we have Luigi bot that works in a group and that works in private. So that was the entire script, and you can also notice that in the logs we have a lot of stuff going on, such as my user ID in the group and my user ID in private, and what the bot responded to certain messages. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can play around with in this project, add your own kind of functionality, experiment with it, because Telegram bots are really cool. One last thing to mention is that as soon as you stop this script, the bot is not going to be able to respond, because the script must be running for the bot to actually be able to respond. And if you want to host a Telegram bot, you're going to have to look online for hosting services, for Python script hosting services. And that's one way that you can run your bot 24/7. Otherwise, buy a very cheap computer and just run this script non-stop.